and we'll just go, you know, in a short after a short pause to ensure that the damn recording kicks in. Cause it'll work every time except for the one time that I don't fill for a minute, and then I have to download the entire stream to cut off like the front 30 seconds. And then I just get mad. Ow. And then we just have dead air because nobody ever says anything anymore.
Too
Blah
many
blah
years
blah
of,
blah
of,
blah blah blah
of
blah blah.
too many years of training the other way. You've got your Pavlov's dogs. Now you got to walk them.
Yeah, but that's for the beginning of the show, not the beginning of the file.
Yeah, you're
Like, I'm
thinking
still
we
gonna
can
be
tell
like,
the
all right, shut
difference.
up for like 5 seconds when I'm actually gonna jam, but that part hasn't changed. Just now I hit record earlier than that because of the wiles of OBS.
Right.
But all right, that's been a minute. So now, shut up for like 5 seconds. Here we go. Ow, jam! Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mana Pool. Oh, this is episode 699 of the Mana
Ooh.
Pool. No. Like, if you go by just number of actual things that we've put on the podcast feed, this is way more than 700.
Right.
Yeah.
But as far as numbered Mana Pool episodes, this is 699. Although, if I had a time machine, I was telling Brian this before, if I had a time machine that I couldn't use for financial gain, I would go back and tell Chewy, hey, when you do RPG episodes, don't make them numbered episodes. Make it a separate thing. Because it just feels weird to have numbered episodes of the podcast that are just an RPG peppered throughout. It's very weird. And then I have hiccups. But oh well. I am Chewy, and I play the Angel, who has white mana and a very big sword. Who are you other people?
Yes, she is. I should probably go last. But I won't. I'm Brian. I'm the GM. I'm here to kind of run things and see if there's any way they can possibly die.
I'm Mike. I am Karim, the soldier, and also a vampire.
Dirk, are you there?
Oh, there we are.
Oh my god.
And I'm Dirk. My character is Alaric Cross, and I am a human monk.
Yeah, he is.
Mm-hmm.
And
So I guess
so is Alaric.
yeah. So, there's always this period at the beginning where Chewy, having been the host of this for so many years, spoiler alert, 17. We usually he takes the lead on this, and there's a certain point where I have to go. Okay, so yes, uh, just as a brief recap, because it's been a good 4 months, 5 months, but actually not as long a gap as sometimes.
Right?
Our intrepid heroes have been working their way across the plane, trying to find a way to maybe leave because they got stuck here, and they have been unable to leave for a while, basically since they got here. Um, and they've had many adventures that I'm not going to recap right now. However, one of their main goals has been to make their way to the sealed tower of Noatun, They got the key to get inside, and at the base of the tower, they found Seer, an a
What?
mysterious figure.
Oh,
I was trying to think of, yeah,
enigmatic.
enigmatic. Thank you, figure.
I was like an
That
ignorant
they had
what? An ignorant
seen
nomad.
once. Yes. Um,
That's
she's
racist.
actually Kithkin, but no. Um, outside the tower with another associate of Karim's, and with her help, and she kind of relying on you, you got into the tower. And last time you started making your way up the multi-level tower, avoiding traps on the lower levels and actually deconstructing a glass golem when it came to life and attacked you. First, destroying its arms and finally its chest, while the angel used her manifest white spell to create a bridge across a trapped floor, which was honestly very creative. Um,
I'm
a
smart and
floor,
sexy and strong and terrifying.
you are all of those things, but
Absolutely.
everybody else helped too. And while Seer went ahead, Kareem, on the next level up, touched some runes and kind of felt some of the knowledge of Donathir come into his mind and saw, okay, this plane was intended to be a sort of nature preserve. It was a plane, it was a barren plane before Donathir arrived, and he kind of repurposed it. You didn't see him actually create the tree at the center of the plane, Drazil, but you saw how he kind of warped it and changed it um, to his purpose and allowed his mana and a bit of his spark to flow into the plane so that it would have the mana it need to produce these different environments so that he could then go to different planes and bring things here. And he was just getting ready to, he had trained some people to help him with that, including a very almost instantaneous flash of the angel before that recording was essentially wiped. And one of the last memories you saw, or logs, so to speak, was of a teenage-ish seer coming under his wing, and then it just kind of cuts off. And as you ascend, you realize she's gotten ahead of you, and later find out that she had gotten so far ahead of you, she just left an illusion behind. But she begins to posit the theory that he really is dead, and it has some tie to the Mending, which all of you are at least somewhat familiar with, or it's a major historical event. You
Yeah.
make your way to the top of the tower, you take an elevator down that the angel says she'll never do again because during the process you're moved through kind of an interplanar space and you're kind of warped and twisted and it's very uncomfortable and you go down what feels like essentially a mile or two underground and find yourself in this long tunnel just straight forward with a river kind of running in the middle, a very narrow, shallow river. But as you get closer to it, it seems to you feel a little stronger and you can move at a greater pace. I think someone had said it kind of reminds them of the people movers at the airport. The kind of horizontal escalators that some people just stand on, other people like run on, and you begin to see on the last level of the tower, the top level, you saw that every creature that Donathir had brought from another plane was inscribed in that top level, and there were some that were in brackets that were like, you know what, maybe this is too dangerous, so we're going to keep them somewhere else. And you began to see doors with some of these, at least in theory, locked behind. You haven't opened any, so only one way to find out. But you passed a door named Hypnox, or with a plate next named Hypnox, and you're like, nope. Past one that said P period negator, and you're like, that's probably bad. And you you've been going for some time now. And where we left off last time was you found another one on the left, and these seem to be alternating, but they're spaced, hundreds of feet apart. That Alaric in particular was interested in is not the right word, but you looked at the plate and it said Alpha Wolf, and underneath that, First of Innistrad, And Alaric, you're just feeling goosebumps come all over your body. And I will say, obviously, you're playing the character, you can decide what to do, but you feel a bit torn. Behind the door, what we said was you hear a wet snuffing, and this door is made completely out of silver. At one point, you heard a low impact to the door, followed by a pained howl, just giving way into a deep baying howl. And I will say you are torn. On the one hand, you know exactly what this represents, and you know you shouldn't go through the door, but at the same time, this is maybe the creature that's most responsible for the destruction of your friends and your family that resulted in your spark igniting. It's this thing. It's its fault. And it's right here, and it's right on the other side of this door. But at the same time, you know this is not why I'm here. And that's where we left off. So in front of you, still to go. You don't know how many yards, miles of tunnel. The angel had pointed out, looking at the map, the distance between the tower and the tree is not insignificant. And even with this river kind of speeding things along, it's a long distance. But directly to your left, this silver door covered in the collar of Avacyn in at least 3 different spots. What do you do?
So, should we keep moving, or Al, buddy, you all right?
I'm torn by curiosity with what's behind this door.
I mean, I think we know what's behind the door. It says it right there.
Well, this is the patron angel of my plane. Do you think it would be beneficial to see if she's there?
The what?
What?
The angel is a wolf?
Well, this is the mark of Avacyn behind this. There's something behind this door. It's drawing me to this.
Wait, do I
Should
know
we
anything
open it?
about? Do I know anything about Innistrad? I forget.
Well, I don't know that we know that. So, hey, tell you what, why don't you roll a d20, and 1 through 10 you've never been, and 11 through 20 you have. Since
Okay, fair enough.
we have not said everywhere your character's been. So sure, let's find out.
Okay, I'll roll it over there. I got a 1. I forget which one you said.
I think I said 1 through 10 you have been there. So we'll say 1
No.
you've made.
I was
Is
not.
that not what I said? Is that the reverse?
I thought
Okay.
that's what he said.
Then okay, so 1 I really thought I said that, but
I thought he did too.
No.
I would ask chat.
we'll play it. We'll play it
There's
back
never
later,
anybody here
but
for
no.
the RPG episodes.
We're not. We'll get a call from the booth later. But you know what? Generally on a die, you know, the higher the number, the greater chance of success. So I'll say you got a natural 1. You've never heard of Innistrad.
What? Yes, I have. I've been hanging out with a dude that's from it.
Okay. All right. That's that. You've heard of it, but we'll say Alaric, you know, because of some of his experiences there, he's not as willing to share some of his life story as some people. So you've heard of it through Alaric, and that's it. You
How about Karim?
Alaric. Oh, I'm
like,
getting him straight.
I feel like
I'm
if
getting
we
him
had
straight this
any,
time.
if we had any knowledge of this, we would try to talk him down.
That's up to you guys. Yeah.
Because I also get the feeling that Dirk might have slightly zoned out while you were talking and not quite understood what you meant. But
I will also
I heard
say
about it. I'm playing character.
Dirk, Alaric also probably still carries somewhere on their body the symbol of Avacyn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's called the collar of Avacyn. So you have seen this on the door, and you know it's generally used as a protection ward as well, or a sealing ward. So
Got you. Well, my question to you then is, because of my special abilities, am I hearing something through the door?
You are. I mean, all of you can hear a wet, snuffing, grunting sound followed by a wolf howling and growling. So, is there something in your abilities that you think you'd pick up on that the others
Monk of
don't?
the Savage Path. You can sense when beasts and other symbol-minded creatures around you mean to do you harm.
This thing would totally. This thing, the door has not completely blocked its senses. That's why it's woken up and it's like making the sounds that it did. And it did at one point test the door's strength. Uh, you can tell that this thing would absolutely, between your innate ability and your history on Innistrad, if this thing was not behind a door, it would be trying to, number one, tear you apart, number two, eat you, and number three, probably still tear you apart while eating you.
Well, in that
Think of the
case, sensing all
Velocisaurus.
this,
Yeah. Think of
sensing all this,
yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna say, yeah, let's move on.
Okay.
Okay. Let me check to
All
see
right.
how many lands I'm attuned to. What is 6? Okay. I have enough to. I'm going to manifest red.
Okay.
And I'll need to do a big KO Ken charge up because I want it. I want X to be 6, so 2 points for each of us.
Wow.
And I'm
Okay.
going to do a hasty spell on us for 2 points each.
Okay. All right.
That's cool.
I'm not going to make you roll for that because you outlined this fairly specifically. So, and you're spending a buttload of mana on this, so you're getting 2 points of haste to each person. Is that right?
Yes.
So,
What
okay.
what does that mean? We'll just walk faster
I
down
don't
the
know.
long hallway.
We'll find out. Yeah, Brian will tell us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's
You
roll.
you all feel. What may I ask you, Kareem? What is inspiring you to do this right now? I'm just like, what is your not asking specifically what is your goal, but what is it about what has transpired so far that you are doing this now?
Just this interminably long hallway and knowing that Seer is up ahead of us somewhere and trying to catch up and trying to get this all
Okay,
closed
so
out.
this is about just basically like,
Speeding
all right,
things
enough of this crap. Doors 1, 2, and 3 that all say doom are not interesting me. I want to keep moving. Okay,
Yes.
all of you feel as Kareem releases the spell, this red mana kind of enter your system, and as all of you kind of inhale a bit, you feel the blood rush through your veins just a little faster. And you all kind of look at each other, and at least one of you breaks out into kind of a wide grin. And upon hearing this, the wolf lets out an even larger howl, but somehow it doesn't even register in your mind. You're like, yeah, no, we're good, we're gonna keep going. And once the spell has settled on you, you all start moving forward again, but you feel like you can move further, faster, with less effort, and especially when you're by the stream, you're just kind of zipping along. I will say, after just a moment, what feels like just a moment, it's almost like the sides of the tunnel are starting to blur next to you. You do see another door on the right, and this one is covered with a black lattice work of what appears to be oil, uh, steel or iron. But even looking at it makes you feel uncomfortable because it's barbed and serrated at edges, and it looks very sharp. And you are going so fast, I would say you would have to slow down to even read the plaque next to it. It's a much smaller plaque. It doesn't have as many words as Alpha Wolf, First of Innistrad. Do you even care what it says, or you keep going?
Rah, I'm going forward.
You're going forward, so none of you get to see what it is. And after a little while, there's a long pause where you feel like, wow, at this rate, you probably would have passed these doors within maybe 5 minutes of each other at this rate, whereas previously they were more spread out, probably along 15 to 20 minutes. And now you're going along, you're going along, you're going along, and it's been about 10 minutes, no doors. 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, I will say each of you starts to slow down a bit. You still have the effect of the haste spell, but one of them has kind of ticked off. So you're down to about half haste, and you see another door left again because they're alternating. But there is a figure in front of this door on the outside, small, bluish colored, and when it sees you coming, it starts to stand up. I will say that with the haste spell, you are going so quickly once again, and if you're sticking to the middle of this tunnel, so you're going faster, you will be able to pass this very quickly. It is a small bluish creature, is what you can gather, in front of a door. The door itself is
The
and
door itself
has
is what? You blinked out.
the door is 3 times as large as the last one and appears to be how do I describe this? Kind of like an arch with a door in the middle, heavy iron knockers on it,
Yeah.
and
Oh, sorry.
yes, and just plain appeared to be a iron colored metal and a switch on the side, and this one also has a heavy looking crossbar over the door. No other gates or anything like that, but again, an archway door, large knockers, yes, switch on the side of the door like you've seen otherwise, and a crossbar over in front of it, and a placard.
This
But
looks important.
you have two choices. This is not the end of the tunnel. You have two choices. You can zoom past this and just keep going. And from what you gather, the creature starts to stand up when it sees you, but you're booking it. You can stop or at least slow down and try to interact with this creature and see what's at this door, or you can keep going. And I'll leave it up to you guys. But your haste is really speeding things along.
I mean,
Kinda
this looks
creatures.
important enough that I'm going to
Yeah,
slow to a jog as I approach.
Okay.
we're in this
You
crazy tunnel that no one else should be in. So yeah, we should probably stop and see what
Yeah.
the hell.
Yeah. All right. You slow to a jog, and the creature looks at you. I want you to picture Fibblethip. Did I
Okay.
say that right? I think I said that right.
You did.
Of a singular eye creature, clearly a homunculus, dressed in very simple garb. And it kind of like waves its hands up at you as you're slowing down and like trying to get your attention. It steps to the left a little bit, like almost in your path. But again, if you were speeding past it, you'd probably either get past it before it could stop you, or you would turn it into roadkill. But uh, it says it says in a very high pitched voice, greetings, greetings, and then it turns around and it starts to walk back to the door, and it kind of looks over its shoulder as it's talking to you, and it says, "My mistress said I should wait here for you."
Who's
I'm
that?
sorry. Did you say mistress?
Yes, yes. And he continues walking along. They continue walking along until they're just right in front of the door. Um, and it says, "She was afraid you were getting too close, so she wanted me to slow you down a bit." And it jumps up and puts its weight on the lever. Because you are all hasted, I will give you the opportunity to try to do whatever you want to do. I will say that if you are now stopped, you have a moment to react to this. Large door, it's like jumped up. Remember, it's probably about half the size of the angel, maybe closer to a third the size of the angel because you're tall. and it's basically jumped up and put all of its weight on this lever, and is about to, you think, try to pull it down. You look at the placard next to the door, and it's 2 lines, and it says vampiric dragon, and then under that, superior life form. And it's getting ready to and it's getting ready to do this. You are what do all of you do? You are all hasted, so you all have a faster reaction time than normal. You gather what's happening. What do you do?
Go.
Yeah, I assume most of us, if not all of us, are gonna try to either hold the lever up or stop little dude from opening the door.
Okay, so from Karim, Mike, when you said go, I didn't know if that meant like
That means I'm out of here.
Okay, so Karim jets. The angel is clearly thinking, stop this. Alaric, what's your first instinct?
Also to stop this.
Okay, so I will say, Karim, due to the fact that the haste spell, you're already ahead. Angel and Alaric, what actions are you trying to do to stop this? Because it has just jumped up and it's put its hands on this switch. The switch gets pulled down horizontally, so it's basically trying to use its weight to pull it down.
Down and
But
horizontally do not go together.
No, they don't. Vertically. So,
Mike, did you just say like this and move your arm in such a way on this audio call?
You guys are both the best and the worst, and I love you.
Okay, my plan is to get under the lever and stop it from going down. Like, I assume it's like a mad scientist type of thing, not like a light switch.
Oh, it's totally like a mad scientist thing. That's what I've been envisioning for all of these. So
I'm going to try to get under it and hold, because I'm guessing I'm stronger than this homunculus's weight.
You probably are. Now, it's a question of whether or not you can get there faster. Even with the haste spell, he's a couple feet from you, so it's a question of whether or not you can get there faster than his weight pulls it down. So we're going to figure that out in a second. And Alaric, I want to know what you're doing watching this happen.
I'm about to plow into him.
You're trying to run in.
I'm going to tackle him.
So both of you are running at him. The angel is running at him to get under him.
I'm going for the lever. He's going for the homunculus. I like it.
Right.
I like this plan.
All right. I want each of you to roll a d20. And I'm going to say, if it is 10 or higher, either of you succeeds. But if you both roll the exact same number, you run into each other instead. In your panic.
What'd you do?
All right. You said roll a d20?
Yes.
Okay. Huh. All right. I'm gonna type it in the Twitch chat and not hit enter. Dirk, you do the same thing. So we're not tempted to fudge a number.
Twitch chat?
I don't think you guys would, but I appreciate the effort.
Okay.
All right.
So I've typed mine into the Twitch chat.
All right. So in 3, 2, 1, go. I hit the button. There we go. All right.
Wow. Oh, that was so close.
Dirk rolled a 15. I rolled a 13.
Oh gosh, Shuey, what did you roll?
Oh wow. It is so close, and there is a moment there. You see this? You take a moment. You realize Karim is gone. Like, Karim is a blur in the distance, and as he said, you're like, no.
We're both
and
like,
there's a moment.
We have to do something right now.
Yeah, I'm kind of picturing the angel on the right and Alaric on the left, and you have one moment where you almost brush each other, and you manage to just not quite doing it. And Alaric, you get to the homunculus. And Angel, you get to the lever and you hold it up as Alaric impacts the homunculus, and the homunculus flies off, and Alaric Alaric, what is your power? Your power is 2.
2.
So, are you trying to attack this thing, or are you specifically just trying to impact it?
I'm just trying to knock him away from the lever.
Okay. Um, yeah, I'll say you do manage to knock him off, although the minute he hits the ground, his eye wells up and he starts crying. He's like, "No!" And he starts trying to like run at it again. And I'm kind of almost picturing you like, the one hand against his forehead, just as his feet are like trying to go forward. But he's like, "She told me to. She told me to." About this time, Kareem, you're a good, 100 feet away, and you look quickly over your shoulder and you realize the other two are not behind you. And do you stop for a second?
What? Yeah, I gotta go
Okay.
back. Something
All right.
happened.
You stop for a second and you realize there's another door to your right. This one much closer than some of the others, and there is something in front of this one as well, and it looks like it's a little. Would your character know what a fairy looks like? Would you say that you've been to somewhere
Um,
like um,
fairies,
Lorwyn?
fairies are pretty common, right?
They're fairly,
Think
they're
so.
not uncommon, but this looks like a little fairy just kind of swirling in front of this door. And this door is made of metal completely, and you're not sure what kind, but there's a shimmer over it. And at first you think, oh, it's a magical barrier. But even from this distance, you feel a little bit of heat coming from it. And the fairy seeing you, and we'll say you're stopped and you're looking, this says, "Oh, hi. I'm supposed to slow you down for a little bit." And as soon as she sees you and she recognizes that you're within the proximity to this door, she starts flying for that switch. And the plate right there that you can see real quick is Obsidian Fireheart. And underneath that is like 3 warning symbols, but they all look like the red mana symbol.
Hmm.
Um, so that's what's going on with you in this moment. Like everybody's basically taken an action so far. You ran, the other two did the thing. I'm gonna go back to the other two. uh Alaric, you're kind of holding the homunculus. You've gotten it away from the switch, but it seems very obvious that it is absolutely determined to flick the switch. The angel, I'll say you did get there in time to stop it from going even halfway down, but it probably got maybe, you know, a fifth of the way down. And as it was coming down, the metal crossbar in front of the door started to be lifted out of the way, and something on the other side starts moving, big, heavy footsteps. And you hear this amazingly sweet voice, not at all loud, just come out from inside. "Hello? Who's there? Someone come get me. I've been trapped in here. Someone come let me out, please, please." And it's kind of almost pleading. And it's very low and not at all booming.
Hmm.
What is the warning? What's the plate say on our door?
Vampiric dragon.
Vampire. Yes.
Mm.
I'm while he's holding the homunculus and I'm leaning like up into the lever. I assume how high? Like, can I put myself
Oh, you can.
under the
Yeah,
lever
you
to where
can.
it can't go down?
Yeah, you absolutely can. And as you're, I'll say, if you want, you can reset the lever. But as you're doing so, this voice is pleading for you to stop. And no, it's all a mistake. I'm not supposed to be in here.
Yeah. While I mean, I obviously have pushed the lever back up. Like that
Yeah,
was
you
what
push
I
it.
was
Yeah,
rushing across to do. Um,
right.
while this is happening, I'm gonna like reach out with my what's it called? Hang on. Spiritual awareness,
Mm-hmm.
which think that's useful in this case. Hang on,
Yeah. Attune to your surroundings to detect the presence of undead or demonic creatures or objects connected with black or white mana, as well as the general emotions of creatures within those surroundings.
yeah, there we
You're
go.
reaching out to the other side of the door.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can sense, bad.
Oh, there's totally an undead creature on the other side of this. Very much so, and it's very large. It's the sense of the sense of undeath coming from within that room is almost overpowering. There's something, yeah, behind that door.
All right. Wait, and that voice is saying that out loud, right? That's not like telepathic.
That voice is saying it's not telepathic,
Okay.
but it sounds, if anything, it almost sounds genderless. You want to say female, but that may just be a bit because it's a bit, while a bit low, it's the
a bit
best
tropey.
you can say is it's a soft voice. What's that?
If we're thinking it's female voice, that's just because it's the trope.
Yeah, basically, yes. But when you try to pin it down, it kind of just, it evades, distinction a bit. And the homunculus, Alaric, is saying, I have to let it out. I have to let it out. She said, it'll be okay. I just have to let it out.
All right, look, you. And I
Like, hey, buddy, hey. let's think about this.
So I'm gonna draw my sword and point it at the homunculus. Like I assume I'm far enough away to not, stab it in the eye.
Yeah. Oh, sure. And it's
So-
big and impressive. Yeah. And it's one eye gets a little wider when you draw it. Yeah.
And I'm like, you are not opening this door. I don't know what that sounds like to you, but it doesn't matter. It's pure undead evil. And I should know I've been traveling with pure undead, apparently cowardice, for a while now. That was a jab at Karim, even though he can't hear me. So, who told you to open this door?
Mistress told me when I was summoned, I have to do what she says. Mistress
And-
is a nice lady.
Your mistress wouldn't happen to be, and I give a visual description of Seer because I don't remember what Seer actually looks like.
I mean that's fine, and immediately he's like, yeah, that's Mistress. And he stopped for a second. He kind of almost shrugs his shoulders. He's like, I was summoned to do this. I was said to tell you guys that she just needs a little more time to set up and to slow you down. She said everything would be okay. That's literally why I'm here.
Slow us down by letting out it, and I turn and look at the plate. A vampiric dragon?
And he kind of blinks and he says, is that what that says?
Oh, I never learned to read.
I'm just doing what I was told to do. Karim, the fairy flies toward the switch near what you can gather is very hot door. What do you want to do? You don't see your friends. You gather that they are probably behind you. You did not see them pass you. You can take whatever action you want. You have a moment because apparently the actions are so similar to the homunculus. You gather these things are waiting until you are close, and then they are apparently programmed to do this thing. What do you do?
Mike, are you muted?
Not me this time.
I'm sorry. I missed that was a question for me. If it was,
I know I'm kind of like flipping between you guys, but I'm just trying to do this in as real time as possible. That is a question for you, Karim. I didn't say Alaric, did I?
I didn't know. I didn't know I was
Okay.
back yet. Sorry.
Yeah, you are still you are at the further door. You just saw this fairy perk up and say, "Oh, good, you're here. I'm supposed to slow you down," and is flying toward another switch next to another door. This is probably a good 100 feet from the other one. in the dark, you are really the only one that could even see kind of the outline of the others. The others can't see you, can't see this door, and you just watch this fairy fly toward the next switch. And behind the door is apparently labeled Obsidian Fireheart, along with some warning symbols. What do you want to do? Do you want to try to engage the fairy? Do you want to run back to your friends? Do you want to just keep booking it and figure the others will catch up to you when you can?
Um,
What does Kareem do?
I think I'll shout it through it. No, wait, don't do it. It's dangerous behind there.
The fairy kind of laughs, and they're like, "That's what makes it fun." Stupid fairies. And it gets to the switch, and with a strength way beyond its size, it starts to pull the lever down. And as it does so, the shimmer on the door intensifies, and you feel like what feels to you like a hot desert wind starts rushing out the door. And you can start to see, oh, it's bright in there. And then you realize, oh, it's bright in there because fire. So, are you doing anything else? Or are you just
I'll go
stealing
over.
yourself?
I'll run over and try to fight over the switch, put it back.
Okay. All right. Let me see here. All right. You are not in direct sunlight, so your power is 4. I'll say it got a head start on you. Go ahead and roll a d20 for me.
All right.
Come on, 20. Don't fail us now.
18.
18. You get over there as it's probably about halfway down, and you start wrestling for this with the fairy. And again, for a being that is very small, this thing is kind of like Ant-Man. It's got a strength that is way out of proportion to its size. With that roll and with your base power, you kind of stop it where it is, and the heat is continuing to roll out of the door, but you are basically just holding it in place. And as you're doing so, something within the door seems to stir. And you realize that whatever was inside wasn't necessarily focused on the outside, but it's becoming aware of the change in climate. And the heat coming from inside is getting more and more intense. And I will say, everybody else, about this time you're having this conversation with the homunculus, the angel, you got your sword drawn, you've got it pointed, and it's explaining, I'm just doing what I was told. You see down the hall, about 100 feet away, in this pitch black, it's not pitch black anymore. And you see an ember burning in the darkness. And it's a little too far away for the heat exactly, but you feel just the beginning of like a warm wind hit you. The vampiric dragon's door is closed, although you still hear, I'm not supposed to be in here. This is all a big mistake. I'm not supposed to be in here. I'm assuming your angel, given your spiritual awareness, kind of confirmed what you thought. You're not itching to like follow through on its plaintive pleas.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I know a trick when I hear one.
But I will say the homunculus still looks like, while it has stilled a bit, it's still kind of darting its eye back and forth between you guys, and its muscles are still tense. So, what do you want to do?
Well, okay. First, obviously, I'm gonna look down the hall at the bright light and be like, "That's almost certainly not a good sign." Hmm. Alaric, how do we stop this thing from opening this door while we go see what's going on down there? Because it's almost certainly something else trying to open another door. Because why wouldn't it be at this point?
Well, you can fly. I'll hold this guy where he is. You go run down there and see what's going on.
Okay. If you're sure you got it, I will take off.
Okay.
Okay. The minute that the angel takes off, the homunculus is now trying to dart around you, Alaric.
Okay,
It
wait a
doesn't
minute. You
mean
didn't.
that.
I didn't take off like immediately.
Okay, all right.
You started before I'm still pointing
Okay,
the
sorry.
sword at the
Okay, continue.
at the little thing, and I'd be like, and if you do open that door when I come back, you're getting this right through the pupil. Got it? And I gesture menacingly and point the blade even closer to its eye.
It starts shaking uncontrollably, but it doesn't respond except to just kind of mumble, "It's why I'm here." So,
And then I take off.
okay, so then you take off. I will say, given what you just said, it's going to wait for about a half a second. And then, Alaric, it seems absolutely bent. This is literally its purpose in life, to try to run around you. So, Alaric, roll a d20 for me. And I'll see if it can. It's not a matter of sneaking around you because you totally know it's right there. It's just a matter of how evasive can it be.
A 9.
A 9. It you reach out, you've got it, and your hand touches part of its eye, and you almost recoil like ugh. But apparently, it doesn't bother the homunculus at all. As you try to withdraw your hand, it like smacks it away, and it is jumping up on the switch again. I will say that because you're right there, you're kind of you're able to stop it, but you kind of got your hands full. You got one hand on the switch and one hand like trying to keep the homunculus from going any further. The angel, you take are you actually like flying? It's very low ceiling in here, but
Well, yeah,
well, I think it,
I can
but
fly faster than I can run. I don't
yeah,
have to be up in the air to fly. Haven't you ever seen comic books?
a time or two, but in almost no time at all, because the time it took for Kareem to get down there, you immediately see Kareem, and it looks like he's pulling a lever down. You don't see a fairy, and it looks like he's got this thing halfway through, and he's pulling with all of his might, like trying to pull this thing down. And you feel the heat rolling out of the room, and this door looks like it's about halfway open.
Like,
And it looks
Shorty,
for all
what are you doing?
Get over here and help me.
Help you open the door?
No, what are you, crazy?
What? Maybe. So I'll zoom over to see what he's doing.
and as soon as you get over there, you see this little fairy, and you swear it looks at you, and it has this huge, almost rictus grin, like Shadowmoor fairies, how they're just kind of messed up, and you swear it's using both hands to push down against Kareem, but it takes just a second and lifts up one of its hands and gives you a middle finger, and then it keeps pushing down.
All right.
But if you are assisting him once you realize what's going on, I'm not going to make you roll for this, because as strong as this fairy is, the two of you together are stronger than it. If that's what you're doing,
Uh,
I'm not trying to take away your agency, but
I mean, I actually don't know if his power's 4. Mine's only 2. I don't know how much help I could be.
oh,
How about
okay.
I reach with my hand that's not holding the sword. I reach out and try to grab the fairy.
Okay. All right. So here's what we'll do. I want each of you
Little
to
bastard.
roll a d20, add your power. I'm going to have the fairy roll one more time, and we'll just see how this comes out.
Hang on, I have
Because
to construct
this
the
is
vector.
strong, and you're trying, Alaric, you're trying to pull this thing down, but you're also trying to make room for the angel. This is not this is kind of a tight
Kareem.
space. You're having to readjust. Kareem, did I do it? I swore I wasn't gonna do it. Oh, Kareem, you're trying to make room for the angel because you see what she's doing, and Angel, you are trying to one hand to grab this thing, but the lever is shifting back and forth a bit. So let's see where we're at. So, Kareem, what did you get?
You said D20 plus power.
Yes, D20 plus power.
17.
17. Angel,
I got an 8.
8.
That is with power
I
included.
Yeah. I will say, well, you're trying to do this one hand. You got the other hand on your great sword. So, I will say um Kareem, you are able to force the lever back up, but as you do so, the fairy kind of slides away and it gets away from the angel, and it kind of, seeing what's about to happen, it flies away and it's hovering in the air, and it just sticks out its tongue and it says, "You're no fun. Boss said to just open the door and let you play with the thing inside. But she also said that if I got stuck, I could just open the next door." And she starts flying off in the forward direction. Dirk, who is also known as Alaric,
Are you
you
sure
are
this time?
I am sure this time you are struggling with this homunculus. Um, it's not so much that it's stronger than you because you're pretty buff and this thing's pretty small. It is absolutely positively determined. Like, this is its goal in life. What are you doing?
I'm gonna bare fist punch him.
You're gonna bare fist punch him. So you have released the lever, which is back up its fully locked position. You're holding on to it with one hand. You're gonna take the other hand and just punch it in the face,
Uh-huh. Straight in the eye.
right in the eye.
Ah!
All right. Then go ahead and roll a d4.
Like,
You
I'm
do
tired of
you
this.
Yeah. Well, I don't blame you. You do have bare fist. Is it one bare fist one?
Yep, bare fist one.
So yeah. So roll a d4 and add one.
2.
Two.
Yeah, I rolled
Okay.
a 1 and then
Okay.
get +1.
All right. You rear back, and this dang thing is slippery. And you try to punch it, and it does the kind of, I don't know. I've never seen Naruto or Naturo. What's it called? But
Naruto.
it Naruto. But you let go of it for with your one hand to rear back and punch it with the other. It jumps on the hand that's getting ready to punch it, and it like runs up and like jumps off your shoulder, and it's going for the stupid switch again. Um, and because you're right there, I'll say you grab it by the foot and throw it just a little bit away, but you deal absolutely no damage to it. And it's starting to get up again. Are you taking another swing at it, or are you stepping on it, or what? Or are you just keeping going at it?
Can I summon a spell?
You can summon a spell, sure. You just have to use the mana to do so.
Alright, I'm gonna summon a beast.
You're gonna summon a beast between you and the homunculus?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you summon beast. You create a 3/3 green beast token. It's between you and the homunculus. You control this beast? Are you ordering it to attack or what?
I'm gonna warn him that if you don't stop, I will sick this beast on you.
And at this point, he looks at you dead in your eye and his eye, and he says, "I can't stop."
I say attack.
All right. Go ahead, and it's making a claw attack. So go ahead and roll a d6 for me and add 3.
And add what?
3.
It's gonna deal 7.
7. So that is over its defense. You watch, and it basically just jumps at the beast, and the beast just tears into it. It's kind of a little sad. It ends up as a big blue puddle. Other two, you have successfully closed the door. Although I will say, it takes a minute. Having opened about half the way, it's almost like the switch does not want to close, and the heat is getting intense. And Angel, you look inside, and you see something staring back at you, almost like the eye of Sauron. It, how do I describe this? It looks like flame, but also almost a stone skull. But you don't see any biology. You don't see flesh. it almost reminds you of a fire elemental, and that's probably the closest thing to it that you might have seen. And it just looks like heat incarnate. But the two of you together, you do manage to finally get the switch back up, and it is boiling in here, and you feel like the land does continue to burn. Yes. So, but you've watched as the ferry has kind of flown ahead. You hear in a moment of silence, both breathing heavy, especially Alaric, because the switch, not Alaric,
Kareem.
Kareem, because the switch is heavy. You hear a snapping and a snarling sound.
Wait, from
And
the door?
from behind you.
Oh,
And
okay.
Kareem, you look back, and because you're a vampire and this is darkness, you can just make out a beast um snapping the homunculus. Alaric, you summoned this beast. Beast is a very generic term. I want you to tell me what this beast looks like given the planes you think that Alaric has been to, because different planes have different beasts. And kind of describe for us what it looks like.
If I had to sort of describe it, I would say it's going to be very wolfish,
Okay.
like heavy on the front end, narrow on the back end, but still like very muscular in the front.
Business in the front, party in the back. Okay, I
Yeah.
got you. So it's like a reverse mullet. I got you. No, that's perfect. And you got Kareem. You look back, you see this. Any concern you have about like, wait a minute, what's he doing back there? I don't know that you've really seen him do that. You do see the homunculus kind of turned into paste, and as it does so, it makes you Alaric, having set the beast on it. You feel a little sad, but you also feel like I gave it every chance.
Like,
The both doors are completely shut. I'll ask Alaric, since you're a little further back, what do you do next? The beast will stay with you for a little while. So, as a summoned companion, it'll be with you for a bit. I'll let you know when it's not there anymore. But what do you want to do?
I'm running as fast as I can to catch
Okay.
up to everybody.
Doesn't take terribly long. You still have the haste. You kind of go up there. You immediately see hot door, twitches up. Both your companions there, looking a little frustrated.
Give a quick shout. Everybody good?
Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think there's another problem up ahead of us. We need to get out of here as fast as we can.
I mean, we need to stop that ferry. I don't have any long range anything, so I'll be like, can one of you kill that ferry before it unleashes hell on us?
I guess we got to chase it down.
Yeah.
At this point, none of you can see the ferry, but you're doing the haste thing. You go to the middle, and after again with your haste, after about a minute, you see what looks like you're starting to see the end of the tunnel. Up ahead, you gather that all of a sudden, maybe in about Alaric, you're the only one. No, Kareem, you're the only one that can see this with your vision. But maybe about 100 feet in front of you, all of a sudden it looks like the tunnel opens up into a much larger space. From here, you can't tell exactly how big that space is, but there may be lighting in there, and you're starting to see, a brighter light, not a bright light, but a brighter light, literally the end of the tunnel. However, maybe 20 feet in front of you, on the left, a door, not as large as the dragon door, but probably half again as large as the others. And it is open. And with the door open, you see that there's a plate, but it's partially covered by the door. The door swung open just the one way, and and it's kind of covering the plate. And the fairy is just kind of dancing in front of the door. And it says, as you get closer, it says, have fun. And it starts to fly away. And from within the door, something long and curved, like a blade or a scythe, slashes out and catches the fairy and drags it inside. All while the fairy is like cackling.
Well, that's not good.
Wait, do the rest of us see this? Because you were describing what Karim could see.
Only Kareem can see the end of the chamber. The rest of you can see this because within
Okay.
20 feet or so, even in the dark, you can see it. And from within the chamber, something starts poking its head out. And you think, oh, it's poking its head out. I want to make sure I have a picture of this in front of me to make sure I'm describing it accurately.
Oh, God.
You see it's poking its head out. It's kind of long and pointed almost like a bird's beak, but the whole thing is kind of sleek. And then a second head pokes out next to it, and then a third one, and then a fourth one. And they all have this just very kind of streamlined appearance. And you don't see where the mouth begins or ends. And it's starting to shamble out of the, well, a shamble implies stepping. It starts to move like a snake outside of the room, and you see that it has some enormous claws. And as it starts to come out, it's almost like its form seems to be unstable, and it's shifting and it's moving, and it puts one of its heads up in the air, almost like it's sniffing, but you hear nothing, and another of its heads starts looking in your direction. It is not completely blocking the way. This is a very large creature. It's probably at least 2 feet taller than the angel, and it looks like it may be stooped over. Again, it's these multiple heads on top of almost a snake-like body.
What in the hell is that?
Do you
Definitely.
want to do you want to
Definitely not
try
good.
to do you want to try to engage it? Do you want to try to go past it? Or do you want to go back? You tell me what you want to do. You have a moment to react. You saw this thing impale the fairy, drag it back inside.
I mean, at this point, I'm convinced anything behind any of these doors is an abomination that is not meant to exist. So,
Yeah, this is only dangerous stuff here.
yeah. So, like, I'm inclined to kill it as an angel.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna. I mean, I've still got my sword out.
Yeah.
I say we were bound to fight something in here.
Yeah, Brian is just
Also-
bound and determined that something was going to come out of a door and try to kill us.
You could have grabbed the fairy, but you tried. You tried.
I
But
tried.
anyway, continue. You've had your sword out. You're ready. You are watching this thing start to come out into the hall. So it is aware of you.
Yeah.
So
hang on, I'm trying to find my list of abilities. Wait, hang on. I'm missing something here. Oh, there's no description on this page. It's the description's on a different page. Okay, hang on. Wait a minute. Sorry. I'm trying to figure out what the hell these abilities do. I can't remember.
if you have a question, just let me know.
Okay, here we go. Assuming I've got a second.
You have just a moment, but it is fixing you with its eyes. So, or where you think it has eyes. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go completely. I can't say that on the show. I'm gonna go completely insane glass cannon kill this thing immediately. So I've got 3 toughness.
Yes.
I'm gonna call up a white mana from tier, and I don't know, one of my planes. Cast an aura conversion to convert all of my toughness to power. And I'm going to charge at this thing in the air and try to bisect it horizontally.
Okay, so you're going for the one hit. You are absolutely all in on this. That's great.
Because this thing is clearly it's supposed to slow us down, and I'm pissed off, and I do not want to be slowed down.
Slowed down. All right. So, what is the attack roll for your sword?
It says 1d12.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, because it's a longsword. All right. And does it have any other effects?
Which one is a d12? This one. It says, not that I'm aware of. It says Ethereum Lace Longsword, 1d12.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all I got.
All right. Yeah. Then go ahead and roll that and add your total power.
All right. What about my heavy weapons?
And your heavy weapons, which is +3.
All right. So my total power should be it's 3 and 2 is 5. So I'm adding 8 to whatever I roll.
Oh, also, I have here for your Ethereum Longsword extra effects. When this deals damage to a living target, which this is, well, we'll find out, you gain 1 toughness for this encounter. So
I don't think you actually told me that, because I haven't written it down. So I guess
well,
that's
there you go.
I must have learned at some point.
Okay, go ahead and roll a d12.
All right.
Add a lot of stuff.
Adding a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
All right. The d12 roll is it's a 1.
A 1. Okay.
But I am adding 2 power plus my 5 toughness plus my 3. Sorry. Yeah, 2 power, 5 toughness, and 3 heavy weapons. Is that right?
Do you have 3 toughness?
That's what I have written down. Yeah.
So it was probably total of 5, like your power plus your toughness.
Well,
So
plus the 2 I got from tier.
Plus the 2 you got from tier. So that's
I forgot to add in my power.
5, 6, 7 because of your power. 8, 9, 10 for your heavy weapons.
So 11
plus 1. So I will say you went all in on this, and it swings, and you try to bisect it. I will say it slithers just a bit, but you clearly catch it mid-body, and there's a moment where you think you are going to bisect it, and it gets caught, and as you would draw it, it looks at you. You don't see eyes, but it looks at you, and the wound starts to scab over, but you gather you hit it very hard, and it's not healing terribly quickly, and it's starting to lose some blood. You do gain a toughness for this encounter.
Yay!
So your toughness is back up to 1. After you attack it, before anyone else does anything, one of the heads starts wriggling and like pulsating and like struggling, and the others are kind of still or slightly moving. One of these, and you see it's got about 4 heads, is like writhing uncontrollably, and then with a horrible squelching sound, it falls to the ground. And while you're watching it, a little bit of a bud starts to form where the head was on the body. Meanwhile, the separated head starts to move around and form a shape similar to the main body, but much smaller.
I will immediately... wait, have I withdrawn my sword now?
You've withdrawn your sword.
All right, good. I will immediately turn back towards the other 2 and go, "Little help!"
As you do so, you glance past this, and you can see the nameplate that was partially obscured by the door, and you can't see the whole thing. What you see is ER, just letters ER, Overlord. and then something beneath that of Dominaria. And what is everybody else doing? I'll say Angel took this moment to strike first, sliced it. Part of it is separated, is forming a new entity. What are you guys doing?
I'm running up and I'm sicking the beast on the smaller thing.
Okay, you're sicking the beast on the smaller part that just detached. While you're doing that, Kareem, it's going to take you just a second to get up there. Kareem, what are you doing watching all this happen?
Okay, if the beast is already going after the smaller one, then I'm going to attack the big monster.
Okay. So Dark, go ahead and roll an attack with the beast. That's D6 and add 3. Kareem, what are you attacking the larger creature with?
The scimitar.
Okay, you have to be pretty close for that. You can get up to it right away. As you get closer to it, it's getting a bit crowded because the angel is still right there. Beast runs past you to get at the smaller thing, but we're getting a bit. I know we've always done theater of the mind, but it's getting a bit crowded in there. As you get closer to this thing, you feel this immense pressure coming off of it. Like you feel the intensity of being close to it. But so your scimitar
It's 2d8.
is 2d8, and does it have a special skill? In case I should have sent you guys all this. But
Not that's relevant here. I guess it's glowing since this is a
it
non-human creature that I'm standing next
this
to.
is so
And
much a non-human creature.
And it takes an additional 2 damage on a successful hit.
Okay, yeah. So roll your 2d8. Dark, did you roll your attack with the beast?
I got the total is 4.
Total is 4. The beast grabs it and shakes it and spits it, and it looks like it's taken damage, but it is not done yet. And as it draws itself up, you can see it's kind of most defining itself. It's getting, whereas before it was kind of not well defined, it's taking on a reddish hue, and its limbs are kind of extending into sharper implements. But you did deal it some damage. Kareem, roll your attack against the something something.
Okay, so the total on the die is 9. And then the way
Okay.
I understand it, my light weapon skill adds 3 and my power adds 4 more.
Correct.
Okay, so
So
then that
that's
should be 16.
16. You do hit it, and it will take an additional 2 damage. You guys are striking it really well. You kind of go at it from the other side that the angel hit, and as you would draw the blade, again, you see it's trying to reform, but it looks like you're dealing damage faster than it can heal. Once again, the one head has not completely regrown, but it's starting to get larger. Once again, you watch another head kind of shake and rattle and come off and start to form another one at its base. I'm going to say that now it's the angel's the first one that hit it. This thing is going to immediately reach out. It has 3 large claws around his midsection, and it's going to strike at the angel. Angel, what is your total defense?
Defense says 4.
Okay, well,
I have a crystalline gauntlet. I don't know if that does anything in this case. I don't think it does.
I don't think it does. That's
Or if it did, I already added it.
Okay. Yeah, it's already defense +1. And at the beginning of an encounter, you may untap all lands you control. Use this only once per day.
Yeah.
So, okay. It rolled horribly, like absolutely horribly. It
Lucky
does. Well, very close to what you did. It does. It catches you a bit. You kind of went all glass can on this. It does catch you and slices across a little bit of exposed skin that you have. You do lose that 1 point of toughness that you just got back. The smaller one that the beast attacked is now seems to be fully formed, and it's it's going to go ahead and make an attack against the beast because it's right there. And that's going to deal 2 damage to the beast. So summoned creatures don't have toughness and hit points like you do. So Dark, your beast has essentially 1 hit left, and then it's dead. The last one that was forming is forming more of a blue coloration, and it seems the top part of it, the head part, seems to swell a bit larger than the others.
Oh my god,
And
this thing is spitting out flavors of sliver? Oh, we're gonna die.
He figured it out.
It wasn't very hard. You said overlord.
Oh yeah. Karim, this thing is going to make a psionic attack against you.
Oh.
I want you to go.
Getting it until it drops a plague sliver, then it'll probably.
Then it'll kill itself. Is the plague sliver the Jusum sliver?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and roll a d4 for me, Karim.
D4 says 3.
3. All right. You take 1 point of damage, so you lose 1 toughness, and you feel an immense headache, like a spike being drilled into your head. But that's it for there goes. Angel, we're going to go ahead and go back to you. Now, well, I'll say that now that you're all right there, you guys just tell me what you want to do. And if you want to say it in order so I can keep track, that's fine. But at this point, everyone's there. All of these things are essentially happening all at once. So
by the way,
go right ahead.
For anybody watching this, either live or recorded, I've got the Sliver Overlord on the screen so you can see what the hell we're dealing with. Okay, so am I dead? Am I alive? Did I take damage? How does this work?
You took damage, but when you lose all your toughness, you start to lose hit points.
Okay.
But you haven't taken any damage beyond that.
Oh,
Otherwise,
okay.
if aura conversion would kill you on the spot
True.
if you lost all your toughness and you died. So, how many hit points do you have?
4.
4. Okay. That is more representative of like actual lasting physical damage,
Gotcha.
So, okay, but you are face to face with this thing, this ugly thing. It is towering. Well, it's 2 feet above you. I wouldn't say towering. It is now drawing itself up more, but
I'm trying to find. None of my abilities are terribly offensive, because when you have a big ass sword, you don't really need offensive abilities.
You are still under the effect of your tier and of your aura conversion. So you are as beefy as you get.
Oh, it is for the... Wait, was that really for the remainder of the encounter?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You hadn't used this.
Yeah, my brain was just... Well, because when I use it, we win. So...
Well, so many of your encounters have been... You punch it and it dies. This is the first thing to really...
Yeah,
other than Mike's encounter with Gander, which was its own thing. You'll have to listen to that episode. You guys have one shot at it a lot, so... But aura conversion does make you into a literal glass cannon. So
true. Man, I wish I knew how damage and stats worked in this game, but I guess then it wouldn't be... I would be out of character. Alright, I'm gonna... Yeah, there's nothing else to do. I'm just gonna take another... Because I assume... So my thought here is, if we kill the big one, we can clean up the little ones, or they'll just die. So that's why I'm going to ignore the little ones for now and take another big-ass swing at the big one.
Okay. So go ahead and roll your d12 and add 10.
I roll... Okay, hang on. This is a 6 or a 9. There's a 4 on the other side. So, okay, this is a 9. Oh, there's a line. All right, so I rolled a 9 plus... What did we decide?
10. Yeah, so 19. This time, I'll say you managed to strike it directly center mass, and it writhes, and you swear it would howl, and you would draw your blade, and it's looking like it's now bleeding, but what it's bleeding doesn't appear to be blood. It's some sort of viscous fluid. But as it's writhing, it's trying to heal this wound, but it's looking very rough. The third one of these heads starts to shudder and move, and it starts to drop, and then it sprouts wings and it starts taking off a bit. And as you watch, all the other ones start to levitate slightly above the ground,
Oh
and
my
it looks like it's starting to move a bit faster. But that's what you do. What do the other two do? Because you're all right there.
I'm gonna have the beast. The beast is gonna jump on the big one.
So the beast is going to ignore the small one. You're commanding it to attack the big guy. Okay? All right. So roll a d6, add 3. And Kareem, do you already know what you're doing, or do you
God.
want to
Try not
see
to
how
roll a
this
1
kind
this
of
time.
do you want to see
Oh, I
how
did
this
better than that.
plays out? Okay.
I mean, he can continue with his turn there.
Okay. All right. All right. We've always taken turns kind of fluidly here. So
So
how
I
do
got
you
a
do?
5. 5
You got a
plus
5.
4. Is it 5 plus
5,
3?
5 plus 3 is 8.
Oh, 8.
The beast jumps on it, and it starts just going to town, and it's ripping and tearing, and this thing, whereas it was starting to levitate a bit along with the other one with the wings, is being brought down by the beast, and it's looking very rough. Its last fully formed head splits off, rolls to the ground, and starts to almost immediately engorge itself, becoming bigger. And as it becomes bigger, everything else suddenly looks like it's getting bigger as well. But for the moment, the beast has the overlord on the ground. Kareem, seeing this, what do you do?
I'm going to attack the one that was suddenly big. The new one that got suddenly big.
You're gonna attack the muscly one.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. So roll your attack with that.
All right. So the die, that's a total of 8 plus 7 is 15.
15. Easily enough, the muscle sliver is dispatched, and you immediately cut down. You're like, no, 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 bad, bad, bad. All the others wither a bit, and they seem to almost shrink into themselves. As you're doing this, the overlord is going to. It's no longer going to remove any heads because all the ones it has are regrowing. It's going to take its pincers and it's going to stab upward at the beast that is on it.
Oh.
Oh, it's going to eviscerate it. It's just like its claws kind of come together and pierce it 3 different ways. And Dirk, you feel a bit Alaric, you feel a bit of pain as there's a separation from your summoned creature as it just dissipates into spent green mana and fades away. And this thing is trying to right itself and bear down on all of you. It's completely eviscerated the beast. The red sliver that had tangled with the beast before is going to try to come at the angel. Let's see if I can roll better this time.
Please don't.
Well, it's a small creature. What's your defense? You said it's 4, or am I thinking of somebody else?
It is 4, yeah. No,
It's
I'm the only
4.
one that's it had anything take a swing at it. So
Right. It gouges you in the leg, and you have a severe sense of pain. You do lose 1 hit point.
Oof.
It is dug its claw, and as it withdraws it, you feel a heat there, and you're like, ugh. The psionic one is going to look at Well, I guess he's gonna look at Kareem again because that kind of worked last time. Kareem, roll a d4.
Oh, hang on a minute.
Yes.
I just realized something looking at my character sheet. I have Frenzy of 2,
Okay.
which says when I have no toughness remaining, I get a +2 to power. just for
Okay.
future reference.
Oh, and you made 2 attacks against the Sliver Overlord. Okay, the Sliver Overlord is looking very, very rough. Very rough because apparently the angel hit it even harder than we thought, and it's looking very, very bad. I will say it managed to destroy the beast and it is trying to get up, but where it kind of like hoists itself, it keeps falling back down on itself, and it's having to like use its side claws to push itself around. It's trying to rearrange its anatomy to to um to right itself, and for a moment you think it's going to transfigure into like a bipedal figure, and then you swear it almost goes like, no, never again, never again. That's not what a sliver looks like. And so it's just kind of trying to right itself, but it's looking bad.
I see what you did there.
Thank you. Kareem, did you roll a d4?
No, I kind of got distracted by that. Okay.
Okay, so that's okay.
Okay, it says 2.
2. All right, you take 2 points of damage.
Oh.
So, okay, what's your toughness at?
Now I'm just at 1 of 4.
Okay, all right, so you're all right. And then the one with wings is kind of just check out what's going on, and no one's gone after Alaric. It's gonna fly over and try to slash at Alaric, and Alaric, as it does so, you watch as it extends a claw, and you swear it looks like it's glowing red, like the one that just attacked and speared the angel. Oh, Angel, I said you took a damage, right?
Yeah.
You gained a toughness when you attacked the Sliver Overlord. So you actually you gained another toughness, and then you lost. See, this is what happens when we don't play a whole lot.
All right, so I have not lost a hit point, is what you're saying.
Correct. You're barely. You are. I will say, this is the most exhausting combat you've had, not just since you got here, but like in a while. Like you're feeling pushed to your limit. Alaric, what is your defense?
My defense is 4.
Okay. All right. This one rolled really well. You take 2 damage from the winged sliver. So, how much toughness do you start with?
Toughness says 3.
3. All right. So you've lost 2 toughness, but you're still okay. It's back to you guys. All of you have suffered some damage from these annoying things, and you see the Sliver Overlord on the ground trying to pull itself back up. What do you do?
All right, I assume we're going to continue in the same order. I'll Okay, give me a quick rundown of what's going on right now. The Overlord's on the ground in pain. There's a red one that's the red
that's just tried to stab you in the leg.
Oh yeah, the red one stabbed me.
I'll say that because you still had a toughness. It was more of a glancing blow, but it certainly it slashed you. It did not impale you like we thought it did.
Gotcha.
There's a blue one with an engorged head that's been staring really hard at Alaric, just like
Karim.
Karim, the world's most deadly game of a staring contest. And there's one that's flying. And keep in mind, all of these are kind of shifting a bit. The flying one grew a red claw a minute ago, and all of them are levitating slightly. The 4 heads have started to reform on the Sliver Overlord, and there's one that looks like it's very close to being mature. The other 3 are following behind, but there's one that's almost looking like it's the state it was in when you started this combat.
All right. I'm gonna continue my plan of take down the big one and then clean up the little ones, or they'll all die. That's my hope. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to put distance between me and the one that just hit me
Right.
in the direction of the downed overlord and try to lop its healthy head the hell off.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your attack. I will say as you try to pass the red one and it sees where you're going, it tries to intercede on the Sliver Overlord's behalf. Like it's trying to put itself between its blade, your blade and it. But what did you roll?
I rolled a 2. So that
Wow.
gives me... Oh, good lord. All right, so it was plus 10, and then there's Frenzy. So it's plus 12. So it's 14.
Plus 12. So it's 14, and it will deal or you will gain a toughness, because this is absolutely gonna deal damage. In fact, I'm gonna say technically you're dealing damage to 2 living targets, um because the red sliver manages to just get in the way, and your cleave still continues to the Sliver Overlord. This is just kind of a speed bump.
Eh.
With the toughness it had left, your blade cleaves the red sliver, which was a hunter sliver, in half, and it just dies automatically. And what should have been a finishing blow on the Sliver Overlord gets caught in its neck, and now this ichor is flowing. This is gross, guys. This is just absolutely gross. It's just everywhere, but all of its heads kind of turn toward you. And even though there's no eyes, you just feel this oppressive malevolence. And this thing literally looks like it's moments from expiring, but it's not quite there yet. The one head that is closest to maturation does not detach, but it looks like it's very close to being fully reformed. So you do that, and you do regain a toughness. I guess
Wait.
since we were going in this order,
Did I regain 1 or 2?
you regain. Oh, you regain 2. Thank you, because it was 2 living creatures.
Sweet.
Um,
Look, Mom, I'm feeling better.
you keep regaining. It's the effect of the sword. You can thank Eichelnir for that. But Alaric, not Karim, Alaric. If we're staying in that order, you're watching this happen. What are you doing? There's still the psionic one and the winged one and the Sliver Overlord.
I'm stringing up the iron arrow, and I am shooting at the Sliver Overlord's head.
Okay. All right. For that, what do you roll?
All right, so that's
combat
a D12.
awareness right there.
Yeah. The Werehunter, you're using the Werehunter bow,
Yep.
and you're shooting an iron arrow. All right. So go ahead and roll a D12.
It's a 9.
Sick.
Okay. 9. And then are we adding? You get a +2 to your ranged weapon attack. And I will say, I know I've reworked exhaustion, but this thing is absolutely exhausted. I will, with a 9 +2 plus. Wow. Seeing what's about to happen, the winged sliver darts in the way just in time for your arrow to hit the winged sliver, impale it, and continue on, and until it strikes the Sliver Overlord again, center mass, and it kind of like pins the winged sliver to the Sliver Overlord.
I meant to do that.
And and as you're watching, the most mature head starts to shake a bit, and you're like, oh god, and then it slows down and it stops, and all the heads just start looking inward toward each other, and they start to just wither down further and further until it hits the ground, and it's not moving. Kareem, you're watching this.
Mm-hmm.
As you're watching this, the psionic sliver seems to get a little smaller, and it had been levitating a bit from some half-formed wings. It falls, hits the ground, and it looks at you. It looks at the sliver overlord, and then it looks at you, and you start to feel pressure building in your mind again. What do you do?
Um, I'm going to do a drain blood attack on it.
Filthy vampire. I'm sorry, what?
You actually have to bite it for that, or you just...
You lunge at a living target and attempt to bite into it and drink its blood.
I mean, yeah, that sounds like how that would work. Yep. Okay. Um,
Well, that's gross. That's the only one left alive, right?
that's the only one left alive.
Okay.
All right, so roll 2d6.
Okay. And then I add my strength modifier to it.
Yes,
Or what?
but no matter what, you're only going to deal a total of 2 damage if
I
you
got
hit.
it.
But
Okay,
okay,
so 7 plus 4 is 11, if those are the only modifiers I need to add up.
yeah, you do hit it, and you do deal it 2 damage, and ordinarily that may not be enough to kill it. But the way the psionic sliver works is every time it attacks you psychically, it's also hurting itself a bit. So as it prepares another mental assault upon you, you just lunge at it. And you guys watching, you knew he's a vampire, but I don't think you've seen this before. And as he sinks his fangs in and it goes limp, there's a little bit of like, huh. And then he withdraws the fangs. And again, where normally there would be red blood, instead it's this shining, almost golden ichor. And Karim, you regain 2 toughness.
Yay.
The encounter is over, and I will say, Angel, the effect of your spell ends, and you regain 3 toughness because that's how the spell works. But you feel like you just ran a marathon. You are tired. And the 3 of you kind of look at each other, and you look at the mess on the ground because it is messy. None of these creatures, the beast being a summoned creature, disappeared and, like, oh, green smoke. This stuff is not alive, but is very messy.
I am so glad that this thing killed that fairy so I don't have to.
Yeah, who knows what other ridiculous doors are up ahead.
Also, did you just eat that thing?
Yes.
Ugh, dude, you nasty.
Didn't taste great, but it tasted better than you'll ever admit.
Whew. I am beat. Are you guys all right? Everybody good?
Yeah, I mean, we
I'm
gotta
good
keep
so
going,
far.
right?
Wait, what was that?
They both talked at the same time, so.
Yeah, I'm fine. We gotta keep going, though, right?
Oh my god, do we?
Yes.
Yeah, technically.
All right. Fine.
You you look ahead, and you can tell, thank goodness, the tunnel looks like it's over. You see no more doors with plaques next to them. You walk forward a bit, and the light gets a little brighter, and you realize ahead of you is a very, very large chamber. It does not appear to all be open. It does appear that there are things in here, and as you get a bit closer, you see none of you are artificers. I don't think that was in anybody's background, but you've
No.
probably encountered artificers before. And this is a workshop if you've ever seen one. There are machines here, there, everywhere. You can't make up what all these things are for. I will say again, large room, probably about the size of a football field from one end to the next. Largely circular, and you start to look up and you realize, oh, can't see up because it just goes up too far. Kind of like the elevator room, how you looked down and it just looked like it went down forever. This looks like it goes up further. You gather might be beneath the tree, and that might explain this giant area here. Lots of equipment, and in the center of it is something that looks kind of like a large, I want to say like a pod. If anybody's, I think you guys met on Ravnica. If you'd ever seen like a simic growing pod or something like that, or a birthing pod, something similar to that, a large chamber, probably enough for 5 smaller creatures or 3 larger creatures to be in, so not super tight. Surrounded by.
Is this organic or mechanical?
It looks mechanical,
Okay.
but there's something weird about this whole space, and you're getting a sense of almost biomechanical with everything. Not with some of the equipment, but as you look around the walls, you swear it almost looks like you're in like the inside of something, like you're in something's stomach. You don't see the walls move, but as you move, you have the illusion of movement. You swear it's almost like the walls are flesh and it's undulating. But whenever you stop and stare at it, no, they're not moving. And it looks like it's made of wood, like gnarled wood, all around you, interlaced with the occasional pocket of stone. But it's extremely unsettling. And this pod in the middle, metal, but there are tubes that run out from it. And in the middle, appears to be a glass door. And it's a bit fogged up, but you think you see a figure inside the pod. And it bears a striking resemblance to Seer.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Should we?
As you enter the chamber, she's about 50 feet from you. Again, just to use just the easy calculation, I guess not 50 feet, 50 yards from you. But please, go ahead.
Well, my question was going to be, given the time, should we stop here before more stuff happens, or?
That may not be a bad idea. It's either stop here or keep going for a while. Dirk, how are you doing?
Well, Dark's asleep, so.
I have to get to bed and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we should totally pick this up next time.
Yeah, I think a giant fight with a sliver overlord is probably good to stop after that.
Sounds good. You guys did well. You did. It didn't kill you.
That's true. It didn't even do lasting damage to any of us.
No, because you're all a bit powerful at this point. So,
good lord, how close did I come to killing the damn overlord with 2 big ass hits?
With the additional damage, extremely close. If the hunter sliver, and I had it in there so that if it was going to take lethal damage, one of the others would step in and take some. But if the hunter sliver had already been dealt with, then the last hit would have been enough to kill it outright. It was hanging on at 1. And then when Alaric, not Karim, when Alaric shot it and shot the winged one, it was more than enough damage to spill over. So,
Jesus.
but had you not gone all in on that like you did, it probably would have had at least another round, and it was going to potentially inflict a lot of damage against you. It rolled a 1 on its first attack against you. And I was like, okay. Um so had you not done that strategy and the battle had been drawn out, there's a potential for you guys to have taken quite a bit more damage. And possibly more than your sword would have recouped.
Had I realized what it was, like from your description, I was like, I'm not entirely sure what it is. Let's just try to kill it. Had I looked at the plaque first, I might not have done that. So I'm glad that I didn't think before I struck.
Well, it was true to what your character would have done. So, and it worked out. I hope my description wasn't. I was trying my best. You look at that picture. I hope I was coming close. I know, like when I described the moonfolk guy outside the tower, I got it so wrong. So I was trying real hard to give a good description. But yeah, no, you guys did well, and I hope that was an enjoyable encounter, and one of the first ones where you didn't just steamroll it right away. So
I can't believe my first 2 rolls against the big boss encounter were a 1 and a 2.
And see, if you were playing D&D, that would have been a pretty epic miss and almost certainly a miss. But, I think when you go all in on an attack like that, you're going to get some credit for it. So, had you rolled much higher, it probably would have been dead much faster. And honestly, I'm kind of glad that it actually, and I'm kind of glad this actually got to do some stuff. So, all right. Well, yeah, we'll call that one done, and we'll see what happens next time. I'm sure that nothing nefarious is going on.
No, not at all.
People go in tubes all the time.
Totally. I mean, that's what I'm going to do as soon as we're done with this podcast.
Yay, tubes. Maybe that should just be the name of the episode, and we'll let people figure it out. Probably not, because it has actually nothing to do with it. But...
Oh my God, was that door number 3? That was door number 3.
There were 9 doors.
No, I meant
that was the third one.
Not counting the one that we started next to, but like the ones that things were trying to open. That was door number 3.
Yeah. Yeah, the homunculus was by the vampiric dragon.
What's the one we ran past?
A grinning demon.
A what?
Grinning demon. A grinning demon. And had you gotten closer, it was gonna be very like, hey, you want to come in. I can give you wealth, treasure, powers, all sorts of stuff. And but you ran past it so fast. No, it was Hypnox, Negator, Alpha Wolf, Grinning Demon, Vampiric Dragon, Obsidian Fireheart, The Land Continues to Burn, and Sliver Overlord.
I say again.
To be fair, like, yes, those are supposed to be like optional super boss sort of things. You didn't have to open. You totally had an option whether or not to fight any of them if you wanted to. And then the last couple, if you breeze through those very quickly, Seer was going to put things in the way to make it so that it was more of an option. Had you caught the fairy, then the Sliver Overlord would have probably not gotten out. So.
Also, before we end, I have to get back in character and be like, why are you running? It's just a little dude trying to open the door. You just stop the little dude. You don't let the abomination out to chase after us. Have you lost your mind?
I panicked. The sign said vampiric dragon.
Oh, okay. So you felt some empathy because you're a vampire. That's what it is.
No, I was totally ready for Karim to meet the vampiric dragon and what that might mean. So, but that's now, awesome. unless you go back, we'll never know.
I don't see us going back.
I didn't think you would.
No, this isn't one of those games where you have to click on everything.
Fill out the map. Fill up the map.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right.
Carrie's better than me, but I think she's a bit obsessive when it comes to games as well because she has to clear the map and she does not like to beat a game until she's gotten every item, etc., etc. So,
Oh, God. Don't ever let her get in on a Fallout game.
we saw the first episode of that. But anyway, Dirk needs to go. So,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not gonna-
Dirk, final thoughts. Also, hey, Dirk, I've watched 4 episodes of Fallout so far. It's really good.
Mm-hmm. And there's still plenty of story left in it too. So
Nice.
it's good.
All right. So, final thought then, Dirk. So you can
Final
go to bed.
thought for me.
I know, right?
Allergies suck. I felt like total poodoo last week. My allergies finally hit me, and when they did, I just was walking dead. So I took a day off work to recover, and then had prom the next day.
Ooh, who'd you take?
My wife.
I was totally gonna.
But prom was this was the most interesting prom I've ever been to because when we walked in, there was a petting area for horses, a cornhole, an open pit, like a pit, like a fire pit with long
Oh, dang it.
chairs, or like like the wooden chairs, like rocking chairs that were there, and then like the inside area for dancing was like kind of like the barn that Mike got married in, kind of like that, where there was just like a barn that had been converted into like a gathering area.
What in the hell?
It was the weirdest prom I've been to, but also the best prom I've ever been to.
And see, you
Because
said
it wasn't just like, okay, here's a dance floor, here's some tables, and some food, and good luck. There was stuff to do.
Doesn't the cornhole usually happen after prom? I'm sorry. Wait, what?
That's something else.
Yeah, not this one.
Oh, I cornhole with my dad all the time. That's gross.
Mm-hmm.
But
that was my final thoughts. And with that, I'm off to bed, guys.
Awesome.
Good night.
Night, Zerk.
Good night.
Good shot, by the way.
Yes, thank you.
He was ready. I have to say, nothing about that was what I expected it to be, including the fact that he just went to prom at all. But but then when he said there was a pit, and I'm just like gladiator. Yeah, well, just do we just
barbecue?
Well, I was thinking Mortal Kombat, but
Oh, is Reptile down at the bottom? Hell yeah.
Smoke. It's the smoking section.
Sorry. Demonetized.
Well, I'm going to do my final thought because apparently Sam is still doing homework, and I think Carrie would like to go up to bed, so I'm going to go relieve her. So I'm going to say my final thought. I'm going to go. This was a lot of fun for me. I'm still enjoying this. We've been doing this for years, and it's been sporadic. And I know I've really enjoyed this whole process, and I've learned a whole lot about game development through doing this process, but I still have a lot of fun with it. And as long as these guys have fun with it, and as long as you guys enjoy listening to it, then that's all I could ask for. So, yay.
Yay.
But yeah, somehow it's not just a piece of cake to, completely make up a game system from nothing. Especially when I started making this, I'd never played an RPG before that wasn't, a video game. So, turns out it's tough. So I have a lot of respect for people that do that. But anyway, that's my final thought. It's been wonderful to talk to you guys. I'm going to go relieve my wife. Everybody have a great evening or whenever you're listening to this.
Yeah. Night, B.
Good night. Oh, and don't open the doors with Hypnox behind them.
Correct. How the hell do you even fight a Hypnox in this system? I don't even want to think about that. Ugh. Well, how about you there, Beardy Face?
I
agree.
Yeah. Yeah, like we were talking about earlier, the push to get the house ready for a visitor made a lot of things we had been putting off happen in really quick succession, and it made a really huge improvement around here. Like both of us were like, "Wow, we should have done this a long time ago," because this is not, this is nice. It actually feels like relaxed and homey in here instead of 30% still unpacked.
It's one of those cases where you've been putting off this job for however long, when it won't even take you that long to do, and your life will be way better afterwards. But
No, yeah,
that initial hump is just
exactly
such a bitch.
that. And all the stuff we were able to be like, okay, donate this, donate that, try to sell this, try to sell that. It's like, nope, don't need it anymore. That made a big difference too.
Nice. So now you're gonna invite me over to hang out sometime, right?
Yes. We just got to figure out when in between the other busyness.
Did you hear that pause? He was like, mm-mm.
Well, it's like, well, yeah, but, and also other people too. And it's like, I don't think my parents have even been over here yet.
Oh, dude,
no, they haven't.
That's bad.
Yeah, it is.
You got to fix that, bruh.
It's like when we were first moving in, like my brother happened to be moving too at the same time, and they just lived 20 minutes from him, but like an hour from us, so they were helping him.
That makes sense. Well, I'm glad your house is better.
Yeah, so am
I have a fan in here now, and that's
awesome.
That simple little $37 investment has already improved my life quite a bit. So
Yeah, it's great.
I got the cheapest fan I could find because I'm broke. The only thing is, after it's been going a while, because I stream for a while, I'll start to hear it buzzing. It's not like loud enough for the microphone to pick up or anything like that, but I can hear it. And after, especially if I'm not streaming, I'll end up looking around going, "What in the hell is that?" Oh, it's the. And sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes when I flip the switch off, I'll hear a thunk from, inside the fan, and I'm like, that's probably not good. I should probably ask Lex about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I know there's magnets and stuff in there, but I don't know exactly how they work together to make the fan go.
I was about to say, are you about to say magnets, how do they work? Because I'll come through the phone, or it's not even a phone. I'll come through the internet and punch you. I will just crawl out of your router like the girl from The Ring. Anyway. Man, this was fun. I'm glad we did this.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Oh, I should do the Patreon thing. So, hey, patreon.com/themanapool. Sign up to be a lifeguard. Help a brother out. While Dirk was doing his final thought, I opened up. I decided to check to see if my water bill had come up yet. Because it's been wonky lately with when they actually bill me. Like, I paid in December. It's usually every other month, so I paid in December, and then it didn't come up again until March. And then it billed me at the end of April. So things have been weird. And it's very expensive, because freaking, I have another person that uses a lot of water that sometimes lives here, but doesn't live here enough to pay half of the bill. So,
Right.
So, yeah. Anyway. So, feel free to sign up. Patreon.com/themanapool. So I can afford to continue to flush the toilet. And let me thank our mythic lifeguards as usual. Let's do it in this order. Team Hellas Haryu, Scuzzo, Michael, who? Kim Ho, Casey, John Parker, Jason Kaus, Jason Doan, Jake Jansons, Andrew Odie, ALK Alters, and Al. Al, who is super excited for Hades 2. Which, as far as I know, doesn't even have a date for the what's it called? The beta yet, or early access or whatever. But he's very excited for it. And as for my final thought, I got nothing. Yeah, I finished Final Fantasy Renaissance with my Lancer, Dancer, Geomancer, Evoker party. And I'm trying to decide if I want to do another run with another 4 party members and do that on Fridays while also doing Final Fantasy IV not on Fridays, because I've decided, the Super Nintendo Final Fantasies and onwards, if I do them once a week, I will never get through them. So they're just going to get folded into normal streams. But I don't know if I want 2 Final Fantasies running at the same time. Just for the sake of my own brain. Even though one of them is the first one and I know it back to front. I don't actually know it back to front because there's 12 new classes in it with more being added, as dude finishes them. So I might. Oh, dude, maybe I should do a run of Final Fantasy Renaissance like in between games. Like every time I finish a Final Fantasy, I'll do another Renaissance run. That sounds like a plan. And stop doing it on just Fridays because it took me 2 months to get through Final Fantasy 1. Anyway, sorry, y'all don't want to hear this. So, oh, you know what I haven't said in a while? Hey, I'm on all the social media things, Twitter and BlueSky and Threads, and join the Discord. You should join the Discord. The Discord's great. The YouTube channel, The Deep End. I have begun work on the Lord of the Rings project again after taking way more months off than I meant to. Now that the charity stream is done and the Eclipse trip is done, I can go back to normal. So yeah, go subscribe to the Deep End on YouTube. The link is down below wherever you're watching or listening to this. The link's down there. And yeah, I stream on Twitch most nights of the week. Yeah, most nights of the week. So come hang out and have fun and all that. And also, someone at the last stream, I think resubbed or something and said, hey, can I get a Black Lives Matter? It's been a hot minute since you said that. And I went, well, not at the beginning of the show. And then I never said it. So, hey, don't forget, Black Lives Matter. Trans rights are human rights. All of that good stuff. Never speak to the police. What else is there, Mike?
I don't know.
I'm sure there's more. But all right, then. I'm gonna stop now. So, I hope everyone has a fabulous period of time until you hear from us again. Thank you all so very much for joining us. And, yeah, don't go opening the big menacing doors.